What's going on, guys? Welcome to Dime Dropper, episode 5 of our 24-minute recaps. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe on all platforms, on YouTube at Dime Dropper Podcast, Apple Podcasts, of course, follow us on Spotify, and make sure to follow us on social media too at Instagram and Twitter. So, coming at you live from Los Angeles, California, after the Lakers have just taken a tough loss to the Portland Trailblazers by a score of 115 to 107. I'm not going to lie, it is a little fun seeing the Lakers lose just because of how fun it seems for how much fun Laker fans seem to have when the Clippers lose these days. So I did enjoy that quite a bit, but let's get into the real shit now. Lakers did a typical Lakers start. Started out with intensity, and we saw this all last season. Lakers start games really well, and it's all because either LeBron or AD or both start out with a sense of urgency, lead by example. Tonight it was LeBron James starting with urgency, hitting some threes, and had like 11 or 9 points right in the first quarter. But right when he went to the bench, it seemed as though the Lakers struggled to get points because AD, who had Robert Covington on him all over the game. And once again, this goes back to, is the NBA getting better? Players not taking advantage of mismatches. Anthony Davis all night long tonight had Robert Covington on him. And there were 2 times where he took him low into that mid to low post and dominated him. There was one in the third quarter where AD in the third quarter was a lot better. And, CJ McCollum was really taking over that end of that first half to get the Blazers back into the game, especially in pick and roll against guess who? Montrash tonight, who was getting worked in pick and roll, not protecting the rim, helping early, which is exactly what he does, being a liability on defense as he is. He was a minus 20 on the floor tonight. Marc Gasol, who I thought was pretty solid, didn't do anything wrong. 2 of 4, only played 19 minutes and was a plus 14. All you Laker fans wanted to talk to me about Vogel's not going to play Trez at the 5. Well, that's exactly what he did for certain stretches. And Gary Trent, Dame Lillard in the fourth quarter, CJ McCollum, they cooked this man. We're getting in there. LeBron, even though he played great in the first quarter, that second quarter where AD was kind of, being, for lack of a better word, soft or kind of a bitch there for his standards. When he was getting the ball in that low block against Covington, it was in the third quarter. He had one dribble, little jump hook, and one. Then there was another one late in the fourth quarter, double teamed, kick out to LeBron. It's very clear AD doesn't love physicality, and I think this is the reason why I want to crown him as, give you guys, those of the people that say that Anthony Davis might be the best player in the league. I want to give you guys the benefit of that argument, but when he has games like this, it's very hard to go there. It's once again, you talk about the skill set, what he can do. Oh, he's a big man that can do this. It's all about the mind, the confidence we talk about here on Dime Dropper. I saw those little Gen Z bots talking about Tim Duncan can't do this. You know what Tim Duncan would have done with Robert Covington on him for a full game? He would have gotten a double team by the end of the first quarter. So AD, I think, really should deserve this lion's share of the blame tonight for this loss. Montrader was no good. Vogel with the having Trez at the 5 was no good. Dame took over late. The Lakers did a pretty good job of, they missed Caruso tonight a lot. Caruso really did a great job shutting down Dame, getting over screens, making life tough for him, and pick and pop, pick and roll in the bubble, and he wasn't there tonight. Wes Matthews has been really disappointing also. Another night for him where he basically didn't even really play. He played 15 minutes, 2 points, was minus 16. Kuzma settled way too much. Part of this is on, and I always talk about LeBron getting guys in rhythm, but LeBron's not playing point guard really anymore. He's letting Schroeder take over a lot of the ball handling duties. And Schroeder, there was a large portion in that third quarter when Schroeder was getting going. He was hitting floaters and starting to finish around the basket, getting by guys like he does. And I thought Schroeder, even though he started pretty slow, he grew into the game very nicely. He was 8 of 16, 24 points. He did seem a step slow on defense compared to last night. Of course, the Lakers are on a back-to-back. But he needs to do a better job of getting Kuz some touches. Once again, I know he's killing in the pick and roll. But when a point guard comes and runs pick and roll all the time and no one's touching the ball, it's easy for guys to go cold. And when Kuz is also not doing any favors for himself, he's just shooting threes like that, of course he's going to be cold. So he finished 2 of 9 and 2 of 8 from 3. So basically every single shot he took but one was a 3. And we talk about it on Dime Dropper all the time, fall in love with that 3 ball. And AD in the fourth quarter wasn't aggressive enough at all. LeBron tried his best and then, couldn't make – like LeBron, he struggled to get really hot tonight. Like he would hit 2 shots in a row, but he wouldn't hit that third shot or he wouldn't really get scorching or anything like that. And the Blazers were just a step quicker. And you got to give a shout out to Gary Trent, who turned into Damian Lillard in this game. 10 of 14 from the field, 7 of 11 from 3, hitting some ridiculously tough threes, whether it was off screens, off the catch. He was tough tonight, 28 points. But yeah, I don't know why Vogel was going with that Montrez at the 5. I think it's just, once again, He's just, it's the regular season and the Lakers kind of, I guess, may have not taken it too seriously or whatnot. But that's a loss for the Lakers. I don't know if I forgot anything. I think Gasol should have gotten more minutes. 1-2. No, 2-2. So Lakers move on to the next game. Great win for Portland. This was my first time getting a look at them. CJ was CJ. By the way, we got to give a shout out to Derek Jones Jr. Stats, he looks like he was bad tonight. 1 of 9, 0 of 5 from 3. His defense on LeBron for stretches was fantastic. He had some incredible, one of them that was, ruled out because of a foul, blocks, recovering on LeBron and the pick and roll. I mean, some ridiculous blocks. CJ finished 7 of 22, but he had a really good game, was very effective, causing all sorts of problems. 20 points for him. Great win for Portland. And by the way, I forgot at the top of the show to say, I'm going to talk about the Hawks real quick, and then we're going to talk about the Nets lost yesterday, not today, and then some Suns Kings, the 2 games they played, and then we'll go to the questions and the Spotify Apple Podcast version of the episode. So let's go to the Hawks, who 3-0 today, and once again, some more resting guys today. Blake Griffin, who I get it, coming out of surgery. Derrick Rose, I mean, how many great years does he have left? I mean, I don't know what it is here. So players just can't play back-to-backs anymore, some of them. Kyrie Irving, I mean, I understand Kevin Durant missing the game. Kyrie Irving, he's had a lot of time off. And this is what I'm talking about again. And they paid the price for it. Thank goodness, Brooklyn. I'm happy they paid the price. This is getting ridiculous, guys. You want to talk about how much, these guys are so much more athletic. They have this and that. No, all they do is, it's all because they just rest and go soft so they can have longer careers and not get injured. But what's funny is people are already getting injured, dropping like flies, tearing ACLs, breaking wrists. Karl Anthony Towns, that sucks. That's one of our dime dropper teams, Minnesota, who we're going to not be watching for a while if Karl Anthony Towns is out. So I don't want to hear all you guys making excuses for these players who can't even play fucking back-to-backs anymore. Nowadays, playing 82 games is a rarity. If Karl Malone had played in this era, he would have fucking played 25 years. This shit's a joke. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And, the fans are lucky they're not going to the games because they'd be going to watch these players play and they're not fucking, getting their money's worth here. Anyway, done with that tangent. We already know what I think about the lack of, hunger of these players and the resting culture and what I think of all that shit and how much more impressive it is when players used to actually play all 82 games, despite their careers not lasting longer. I respect that more. Anyway, on to the Pistons and the Hawks. And the Hawks, Capella made his debut today. Rondo made his debut today. And it was some really good debuts. Even though John Collins had his first not-so-great game, I think that he just didn't really get many looks. He was only 4 of 7, 15 points. Struggled a bit defensively as well. And so did DeAndre Hunter, who had his first not-so-great game as well. 4 of 11. He was a little slow on screens, getting beat a little bit. And who was actually beating them a lot was Josh Jackson, who had his best game I've ever seen play. 27 points, splashing threes, 3 of 7, 11 of 19 from the field, running up people off the three-point line as well. So that was kind of impressive. And the Pistons fought tonight. Even without Blake and Derrick Rose, they fought tonight. And who I really thought was good was Isaiah Stewart. He got 8 rebounds, a lot of offensive rebounds, 5 of them actually, yeah. And a lot of those were on DeAndre Hunter and John Collins, just, not boxing out, being a little slow there. Trae Young wasn't great defensively, but boy, Trae Young was setting the tone for his team, wheeling and dealing that pick and roll, making the right reads, not being too selfish like I talked about last game, and he got to the line. He led the way. He was the best player on the court for the 3rd consecutive game, leading his Hawks to victory. Great start to the season for Ice Trae. 3-0 the Hawks, 29 points. And we got to talk about Bogdanovich, who was hitting all his open threes tonight. 5 of 7 from 3, 6 of 10 from the field, and 17 points. I thought Solomon Hill was really good off the bench tonight. The Hawks bench was very good. 12 points for Solomon Hill. I mean, this team is deep. This team is dangerous, and this team can score. And Rondo was right back to Rondo that we saw in the glorified Summer League. Wheeling and dealing and pick and roll himself, hitting threes. Rondo, 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 12 points, 8 assists. Typical Rondo, setting the tone. And, this was the first game Kevin Huerter wasn't too good. But overall, Cam Reddish, again, very solid performance. 11 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals, only 1 turnover. So I've been really happy with the start from Cam Reddish. And the Hawks overall taking care of business, 3-0, move on to the next. Capella was good as well, only played 20 minutes, but had 7 points and 9 boards and made his presence felt at the rim with 2 blocks. So the Hawks looking good as we move on to the next. So let's go to the Nets, who I saw play yesterday. And so the Nets, this is what I talked about with a team like Brooklyn. you're going to play well when everyone's watching you. You're going to play well. And by the way, shout out AD hitting the side of the backboard. I had to grill him for that. That tweet is already getting some love because I had to take my jab where I could. You guys, I've seen that Paul George side of the backboard shit more times than maybe I've seen my sister over the last couple of months. So, yeah, you Laker fans need to see that, especially the way AD played tonight. Anyway, let's continue with the Nets. So I was saying about the Nets is that they – it's easy to play well when everyone's watching you, but then there's the games that people aren't watching where it's easy to take your foot off the gas. They got to understand that they're a target this season and teams are going to be coming for them. And Charlotte, even coming off a back-to-back, played with some really great energy. Terry Rozier was really solid. He's off to a great start this season. Not just the dunk he had on Kevin Durant, but just, making the extra pass, taking good shots, decent shots, getting in the lane, making floaters on pick and roll, being a threat. And then, of course, P.J. Washington was playing really strong as well, playing tough. Joe Harris was having a tough time defensively, getting bullied a little bit. DeAndre Jordan was very poor. And Kyrie Irving just didn't start with the same defensive intensity that I saw from him against Boston and against Boston. He was a little bit late getting over screens. And, they kind of gave the Hornets confidence a little bit, even though KD was really solid in the first half. And Karis LeVert was pretty good in the first half. By the way, we need to talk about Landry Shambroke and how fucking broke he's been so far. Oh, my goodness. You are making a fool out of yourself, Sham. That's what you get for not thanking Clipper Nation. You were playing like a bum, and you've been, terrible since the season started. I mean, Landry Sham, let's look at his line. 0 of 9. My goodness. Donut, Krispy Kreme, hot and ready. Maybe Randy's Donuts if you want to come back to L.A. Psych. We don't want you. Anyway, Taurean Prince was also dog shit. 2 points, 0 of 5. But shout out to Taurean Prince. He has viewed Dime Dropper Instagram stories before, so we're not going to grill him too much. But in the second half, very sad to see my former camp counselor and BFT clinic trainee or fellow player, I don't know, guy that went to the same clinic, Spencer Dinwiddie, go down with an injury there, tearing his ACL or rupturing it, whatever. That's so sad. I really like Spencer, but I honestly don't think that the loss is going to be too bad for the Nets when KD and Kyrie are playing. I think it's really just when they're not playing like tonight, they could have really used him. But yeah, I'm going to say this once. DeAndre Jordan is not going to win a championship as a starting center. I mean, Jared Allen just needs to get more minutes than him. It doesn't really matter if DeAndre starts, but he is just not good at basically anything to me anymore except for blocking shots and rebounding. He had 12 rebounds. But the dude is not a good defender in pick and roll. He's always been slow, and he's even slower now. He got caught helping too early in no man's land, just basically leaving his big man wide open under the basket for layups. He got caught out so many times. And in the second half, the Nets tried to, pick up the defensive intensity, but there was one lineup where Nash, I'd have to blame Nash a bit here. He went with Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot, who played really well, but he had not played till the fourth quarter, really. TLC, Taurean Prince, Jeff Green, Karis LeVert, and Shamit. Or I'm sorry, it wasn't Jeff Green. It was Jared Allen instead. And it was just basically Karis LeVert trying to get shots for everybody and just kind of doing things on his own, and everybody else was broke. And that lineup, it went from 84-81, the Hornets were winning, to 94-91, the Hornets were winning. And Nash, there was once or twice in the game where he could have called timeout to kill the momentum, going Cock River style a little bit. I don't think Nash should be in a position where he needs to let these guys figure it out, especially because it's starting to look like a situation where they're going to be ultra conservative with Durant and Kyrie Irving. So if they're going to be doing that, then the games that they play, they're going to want to win to get as best of a seed as they can. And, winning just does great things for everything, for the camaraderie. So I don't think that I have to call him out a little bit on that. KD and them, they tried to get back in the game late. They tried. But Kevin Durant, I have a big problem with this. He had 29 points, 9 of 15, 5 of 7, right? Great stats, looking very efficient. 15 shots just isn't enough. Kyrie should not be shooting more than him on a night like this. Kevin Durant only shot, I think, 1 shot or 2 shots in the fourth quarter, one of which was the shot to tie the game, a really easy mid-range that he always makes. He missed. That's okay. But what I have a problem with is the lack of assertiveness. When he's getting loaded up at the top and he doesn't want to attack the seams and he doesn't want to, get a little bit physical. And it's the same with AD, and that's always been a problem with KD. You saw it in 2018 Western Conference Finals when the Rockets were winning on them, and you saw when he blew a 3-1 lead. When teams start loading up on him, sometimes he just kind of doesn't like to attack the seams, doesn't like to get, if he wants to attack from the top and everyone can look at him, that's where being a 7-foot guard is kind of like, if you're not just hitting that pull-up off a three, that's walk into that pull-up three that he hits, then it's like you have a chance to lose the ball, because the thing about KD is he has a very wide handle and he's very tall. So it's easy for, smaller guys to get a hand on the ball when he's driving from the top like that, as opposed to when he's got the ball in the mid post where he only has to take maybe one or two dribbles or no dribble to get to a sweet spot to get a good shot off. And when he's taking the ball from the top, it's easy to load up on him, and he's not getting into the seams. He's not like, you see a guy like LeBron, he's just so strong. He just bullies and puts his shoulder in, splitting the gaps. A guy like Jordan or Kobe would just kind of get in those mid-range areas and pull contested shots because they're very good contested shot makers. But Jordan wouldn't start out too much at the top. This is when we talk about being an all-time great scorer. This is the one problem I have with Kevin, is that he shies away from physicality and contact and can be too passive. And I'm not saying this loss is on him. It's probably less on him than anyone on that Nets team, but he needs to take over games. If he wants to lead this team to a championship, he's going to be put in situations where teams much better than Charlotte are going to be loading up on him and boxing him in a little bit, or, zoning him up, so to speak, or loading up, I should say, shrinking the floor, whatever. And, he's got to be better. And Joe Harris has to be better too. I noticed something with him. Good three-point shooter, very suspect mid-range. Typical, as we talked about, and is the NBA getting better? So I'm happy the Nets lost because they paid for their ridiculous resting tonight, not on Kevin Durant, as I say, with Kyrie Irving. So to end it, we're going to talk about the Suns and the Kings. And the first game, I thought the Kings, had really good energy. And the Suns, I thought Devin Booker was a little bit better in this game, in the game the other night where the Kings won. He had, he shot 21 times, 26 points. Chris Paul was better, much better in the first game, 22 and 12. But the Suns shot, once again, way too many threes. Another team doing it, 11 of 44, 25%. They just didn't know when to quit. Javon Carter, 0 of 5. Cam Johnson, 2 of 8. Devin Booker shot too many for my liking, even though he's only 3 of 7. Chris Paul, 2 of 6. Too many threes. And let's get to the main reason they lost. Both ends of the floor. One, he couldn't play defense without fouling. He had 5 fouls again. And then he only shot 5 times. DeAndre Ayton. This is what I'm talking about. We're talking about him being not aggressive enough. 5 shots is not going to get it done. The team needs to do a better job of getting him going, but he needs to be more assertive. He's one of the big men that actually has some skills. He needs to be more assertive. And you know what? The next night, he was a tad bit more assertive. He shot 11 times, and he had 11 and 15 and 4 assists, and he did a much better job, especially in the second half, of playing defense without fouling. So Ayton playing a little better. I still want to see more than 11 shots, but Jay Crowder also not off to the best start for Phoenix. But I thought in the second half of that game last night, because Phoenix was only up by 3 points at halftime, 56-53, that second half, especially the third quarter, they really clamped down on defense, and it starts with Mikal Bridges, and obviously, as I said, DeAndre Ayton in the pick and roll was a little bit better, and Chris Paul obviously playing great, doing his thing. Or I wouldn't say too great, but CP3 getting guys involved, making life easier for guys like Mikal Bridges, guys like Cam Johnson, who in my opinion was the most impressive player of the game. 21 points, 7 of 9, 3 of 4 from 3. He was hitting basically everything he took. I think that, KCP in corner threes and Cam Johnson right now are two guys I think that whenever they shoot those shots, Cam Johnson right now, just any open three, I think they're going in. And Cam Johnson was huge and has been really good to start this season, honestly, as has Mikal Bridges, who had 22 points, 9 of 15 from the field, and 4 of 8 from 3. Booker, though, was solid. And I think Eddie Johnson, the Suns color commentator, made a really good point in commentary yesterday. And he said that D-Book was so used to last season kind of being the playmaker for everything. This season, he needs to go back to being a killer scorer. 19 shots. I want him shooting over 20 shots, honestly. I think I want him shooting, honestly, 20 to 25 shots. I want Chris Paul in that 10 to 15 shot range, and then Ayton the same, because D-Book is the same thing I said with Kevin Durant. They're, loading up on him from the top, and he's not trying to get into those, seams and gaps and attacking players one-on-one and trying to get a little physical, maybe bump off of them and spin or step back. And what he started doing was taking too many threes, and then, 1 of 6 from 3, Devin Booker, and then he started getting into that mid-range area, hitting some nice step backs, coming off screens, getting into the midi, which he can hit, because I've been said Devin Booker is one of the most versatile scorers we have in the league, but he is being a little too nice, too passive as well. I think he needs to be – I agree with Eddie Johnson in commentary. He needs to be more assertive. I know the Suns won by 16, 116-100, great win, bouncing back, 2-1, that's all great. But – they've had 2 games against the Kings and a Porzingis-less Mavs. It's not going to get easier for Phoenix, and Devin Booker's going to have to be a bit more aggressive, but I love to see him just making the right plays. He's not playing badly by any means. Don't get it twisted. He's playing well, but I want a little more aggression. Shout out to the Cavaliers and the Indiana Pacers, by the way. We don't cover them on Dime Dropper, but for them to start out 3-0, I did say with the Cavs, I didn't expect them. I said they were going to be a 13 seed, but I did say they had a really good starting five, so I wouldn't be surprised if they finished higher. And that starting five is looking like they've developed a bit. Garland, Sexton, Sexland, as they're calling him now, I guess. And then the Pacers, Sabonis off to an incredible start. Looks like the second best power forward in the league after I still have to go with Anthony Davis. Once again, pure power forwards. But yeah, Sabonis been killing it. Malcolm Brogdon been killing it. And so, yeah, that's all we're going to have tonight for the recap, ending 3 minutes short of 24 minutes for the Spotify and Apple podcasts. I'm going to get to the live chat now. Make sure you let me know what you think of this episode, and make sure to subscribe. Peace. Alrighty. What you guys got for me? What you guys got for me? Get off the Clippers nuts. I wasn't getting on the Clippers nuts. Do you think that modern bigs, my boy Studio Shred, shout out, I be seeing you in the chat. My boy Studio, do you think that modern bigs like AD and Jokic need to play in the post more? Obviously, man. If you have post game, they complete anyone that in the NBA now that has post game to any extent needs to do it more than they do it. Period. So matter, I know I blame Kuz. Jonah Kim, you're being soft. AD should be blamed first before Kuz. Kuz took some bad shots. Part of it's also on the teammates need to get him some different types of looks, not just catch and shoot. That's on him a little bit too, but I don't consider Giannis a real power forward. He's just a big wing playing the four in a small ball league. I consider power forwards like big men, true big men. Giannis is like a hybrid. I know the Thunder are trying to tank, but the loss today still hurt because of how well everyone played today. I feel you. AD should have just sat out tonight. Terrible effort. I feel like AD calf was kind of bothering him. Oh, okay. First of all, I want to get one thing out of the way. This podcast is something that I can depend on every day. I can't tell you enough that you're doing a great job on this. Thanks, 79 Steve, bro. Those messages are really touching, man. I just like blaming Kuz, LMAO. Why, man? Why do Laker fans like making Kuz such a scapegoat? Who is your dark horse team to win the East? Does Miami count as a dark horse? Answer me that. I don't know, because they still won the East, but I feel like no one's picking them. Yo, what's up, dude? Even though AD didn't play well, it seemed like Schroeder didn't use AD very much on offense. I feel you. Schroeder was looking for his own shot a little too much to be a Rondo replacement. Very good point. I didn't even say that in the podcast. I think that's a good point, Studio Shred. At least it wasn't 50. No big deal. Hey, at least it wasn't 50, huh? Well, if you want to compare yourself to the Clippers, that's not Lakers standards, right? AD played like dog shit. Lakers in 5. Hey, Zaire. Jonah Kim. AD is always injured. I don't care about his calf. SMH. Kawhi in the post is unstoppable, says my boy T Money. T Money, how you feeling about those losses, man? How do you feel about Kyrie resting tonight? Billy Abbasi, AD needs to do more for not only the Lakers, but also my fantasy team. Brett, how come players in the 80s and 90s were more durable than players today? It's like someone's getting injured almost every other day. Brett, I agree with you. There's this guy D4384 on Twitter that talks about this stuff all the time. He's much more knowledgeable about this stuff than me. It's all about, I don't know, man. Here's the thing. I'm not going to speak on shit that I don't fully know. A lot of it, I don't know about the body and stuff like that as much, guys. I'm more like a basketball nut. So there is something to that, man. And maybe it's because players are resting. Maybe they're not as fresh. I don't know, man. My boy, Real New Money 818 Edwin Vera. Fuck the Lakers. Rodney Good, bitches. Thomas Paletti, Dime Dropper. Did you know Harrell allowed 47 points to be given up and changed the Lakers from a +2 to a -7? Oh, yeah. Montrash actually tonight was -20. And Gasol was +14. Gasol did not play that bad. My boy Xavier Dawson, I doubt we'll go for PJ Tucker during trade deadline, but what trade package would you put for him? Beverly and Lou, honestly, Beverly, Lou, even T-Man, honestly, at this point. But yeah, no one else. Everyone else we kind of got to keep. Robert NC, I'm a big believer in Miami. I feel like most people are sleeping on them. I agree. 79 Steve, to anyone saying we shouldn't be criticizing D-Book, remember he scored 70 in a game. Tua boy, why do the Blazers guards love torching the Lakers, albeit in regular season? I don't know. Caruso didn't play tonight. That was part of it too. Dinwiddie injury is going to hurt. I don't know, Team Money, though. I feel like, we'll see. It maybe, I don't know if it's going to hurt the Kyrie and KD games as much as you think. Kawhi started that load management and resting shit. No, he didn't. He only started the official load management shit. LeBron was resting in his prime before Kawhi. And Greg Popovich is the one that's starting the resting stuff. So stop with that. Kawhi only actually made it a thing because he had a chronic injury. He's had it since 2013. He's the only one I can give a pass to. And plus, Kawhi actually is he's been pretty good about since he's done it, not actually getting injured. So it's actually worked. Knock on wood. Jesus. Let's see. Miami always getting slept on, but no, we are not a dark horse. Thoughts on the Nuggets always doubling Harden like they did tonight? Think that's a good way to stop him? It can be depending on who his personnel is. I think with this team that he has right now, without all those guys, yes, but I didn't watch the game tonight. But I think that the best way to guard Harden is to show him to his right a bit and then just try to bait him into that step back with the angle and just put the contest up and try your best. Bait him into it. That's what he does. Miami is good, but I still think the Nets are better, says Jonah Kim. Johnny Committee, well, it was a short offseason. Crush Patterson. Clippers, baby. Let's work and just get back to work. One game at a time, and we're going to get through the first. We must cut Reggie Jackson and Patrick Patterson. And fuck the Lakers. Yeah, I agree with the cut Reggie Jackson and Pat. You think Steve Nash is a good coach? I think he's, first of all, way too early to tell, Studio, but he's been great so far. Just made a little bit of a mistake last game. T-Money. Steve Nash is so ass, and Mike D'Antoni ruined our offense. We're shooting so many goddamn threes. Hey, T-Money, patient, bro. 2-1. Nash made like 2 mistakes. It's not a big deal, bro. You guys will be fine. You got to give Nash the credit for those first 2 games. You guys look like an amazing, cohesive team. You got to give him some time. Yeah, Trez sucked. Shaking my head. That's what I'm talking about. Montrash. Snake. Montrader is the reason why the Lakers have a 2-2 start to the season. Ernest Hernandez. Yo, I agree with you on AD not taking advantage of mismatches. He made some good passes when he needed to be a high efficiency scorer. And he made even better passes when he was deep in the post. What player do you miss most from the Clippers? Definitely Chris Paul. I was more mad about the Hornets loss than the Grizzlies. I agree, T-Money. Jonah Kim, I love Caruso. He brings his all. I agree. I like the way Caruso plays. Brent, any ideas on who the Clippers may trade before the deadline? George Hill, maybe? I've been hearing George Hill. Real new money. As funny as it sounds, Lonzo Ball would be perfect for the Clips. I wish we had him. Here's the thing about Lonzo. I like his decision-making for the most part, but I just don't know if I want to deal with confidence. A guy he's starting to find his confidence a bit, but it's still wavering, and he hasn't been put in the positions like in the playoffs. If we get into the playoffs, like that's uncharted territory for him. And I want experienced guys. Tua, AD needs to play better, yes. Lillard has a signature performance against the Lakers every year. Last year's was the first gift for Kobe's. Yeah, I remember that. Blazer Boys, shut the fuck up. Stop blaming it on LeBron, you LeBron hater. You're right. Oh, look, it's Blazer Boys. Chat, let's give a warm welcome to our biggest idiot of all time. Everybody, give a warm welcome to Blazer Boys. I don't even like Kawhi like that, you fiend. And I didn't even blame LeBron. You just came in here with your bitch ass. Pussy, little boy. You're a little boy, Blazer Boy. Your Blazers won tonight, though. Little boy. Kawhi is injured. He deserves to rest. It's not about resting. He has a chronic quad injury. Playoff Paul, $40 million. George. The Lakers need to win these next 4 games. Memphis 2 times. Spurs 2 times. If Dinwiddie wasn't going to be able to be as productive as he was, they should trade him for a high-level 3-and-D guy. They got enough playmaking and shot-making. Need more perimeter defense. I agree, Johnny Kabede. I agree. Do you have an issue with players resting and load managing at the end of the season? It depends on their playoff positioning, Luke, on their seeding. How often do you go live? I go live after every Laker and Clipper game for the most part, but until I get a job right now, that's what I'm doing. You can expect me to go live after every Clipper and Laker game at home here in Los Angeles. By the way, not fucking with the fact that they're doing why are the games starting at 7 these days? Why happen to go good old-fashioned 7:30 Staples Center? Great title on that last episode. Got them views. Yeah, I got to go Clipper fan reacts to everything because you fiends love hearing about fucking Clipper fan reacts. I don't love doing that, but it's just what I have to do. I hate every Gen Z bot. Me too. I want to exterminate all of them. They just have no idea about the game. That doesn't mean, once again, everybody in Gen Z. I'm in the beginning of Gen Z, unfortunately. You Gen Z bot, Blazer Boy. Good Kobe versus LeBron combo. You a fraud though for still having super chats on though. Random man, I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting. I low-key always thought Clips should have kept SGA, to be honest. So did I, bro. I miss SGA. Landry Shamet is so goddamn bad. Not worth Sadiq Bey. Blazers better than the Clippers? Bro, you're trash. You haven't been better than the Clippers since 2018 where you got swept by Anthony Davis, embarrassed, locked up by Drew Holiday. I'm so sick of Nick Wrong. Chat frauds. Drop the video a damn like. OMFAG, Blazer Boy, don't even start. Blazers about to drop the Clippers back to Cancun. Yo, tell me when the Blazers can ever win a playoff series against us when we're not completely hampered by injuries. I'd love to catch the Blazers in the playoffs with their no defense besides Derrick Jones Jr. and Robert Covington. Fans are complaining about the time, especially East Coast fans. East Coast fans can suck my dick. I was in the East Coast last year. Stay up late, you pussies. Ugh, I hope that doesn't get my video not monetized. Blazers decent, but Clippers not better. You know what, Blazer boy? It's not worth getting pissed at you since you're a troll. So let's just see when the Clippers play the Blazers next game. Blazers were better than the Clippers when Brandon Roy, obviously, Brandon Roy. Come on now. Clippers can have LeBron. Kawhi, Giannis, Kareem will still lose. They cursed. Hey, Covington was a great pickup. Was he a free agent or trade? They traded him for Ariza, I think. I'm getting off in 3 minutes, by the way, so give me all of it. Dame better than Kawhi? Yeah. Call me when Dame's gone to a finals before. And call me when Dame's not getting swept but in the conference finals by the Warriors and by the Pelicans. Yeah. Okay, my boy. Who do you think are the top 5 players in the East in order? Where does Giannis fall? Not very high. Number 1, Kevin. Number 2, going my boy Jimmy until proven otherwise. Then I'm going to go with Giannis, I guess. Kyrie Irving, though. Yeah, Giannis. Giannis is playing like trash, by the way. Jason Tatum, right? Jason Tatum. I'd have to throw him in there. But Jaylen Brown's out playing him so far this season. And then I don't know. Who's the next best point guard in the East? Trae Young or Kemba? And then you've got Jimmy Butler. No, I'm my Heat fans. I'm so high on Jimmy Butler because every single thing I said about Jimmy Butler in my podcast last year, in my playoff podcast last year, came true. Like Jimmy made me look so good, like just the way he was leading. Embiid, ooh, I'd have Embiid. Embiid after Tatum. Tatum is just more plays every night kind of thing to me, more involved in the game, even though he has poor decision making at times. Hey, it gets lonely here at night. Dame, a real one for staying with the Blazers. Got that old school mentality. Yes, sir. That's why I love Dame. Let's see. Dame about to cook y'all on Wednesday? Okay, cool. Brooklyn or 76ers? Brooklyn. Okay, it's okay, y'all. Clips will lose in second round of layoff P. I remember watching a video saying that modern athletes may suffer more injuries because of modern diets they take that may prevent their muscles from getting to peak strength. Yo, that could be true. Support. Embiid, yeah. I don't know. I guess Embiid. The East doesn't really have a good hierarchy of players. Bradley Beal is up there as well. Trae Young's killing it right now, though. And you know what? We got to start mentioning in this conversation, too, is Sabonis, man. Sabonis has been killing it. Anyway, so I think that's going to be all for tonight, guys. Thanks for joining me, Laker fans. There was much more Laker fans in here tonight instead of Clipper fans. And you know what? We like all the fans. Thanks for joining me. Tomorrow we're going to have a day off. I'm going to try to upload I'm just going to try to upload a video tomorrow. Oh, no, tomorrow the Clippers are playing, so we will be back tomorrow. So we'll be back tomorrow, same time around. Peace. Everybody didn't go to the East, by the way. It was just Kevin Durant. Let's not get – and anyone else? Just Kevin Durant went to the East, right? Not everyone. Anyway, peace.